What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2. Now, one of the questions I get asked just constantly is how to make the transition from Nightmare 3 to Nightmare 4. And depending on the current state of the game, that's always going to change. What's the easiest way to do it? Right now, it's almost like cheating, because you can very easily make the jump from Nightmare 3 to Nightmare 4 just by running Power Surge. Power Surge is definitely where it's at, and very easy to do with just the mechanic of the map itself, with the massive buffs that towers get, but of course reducing their lifespan to 35 seconds. So anyway, just to make this a little bit more like actually making the transition, now I didn't go through and farm up a bunch of Nightmare 3 gear, but at Nightmare 3, of course, the item power range is 560 to 620 on Incursion. So assuming that everyone is just starting Nightmare 4, you're going to have an item power right around that 620 mark. Now, what I'm going to do is just go ahead and take off a couple of pieces to get my item power dropped way down. Now let's see, let's go with... See, I lose the chest, that gets me to 639. And then if I lose the headpiece as well, that's actually going to get me all the way down to an item power of 536. Now, the reason I know this is still going to work is that this map is so easy to do with this particular strategy. Pandinator on the forums actually did it completely naked. So it's possible for someone really, any level 50, with any gear at all, to go ahead and complete this and start getting some of the fat loot. So we're on Incursion, we're on Nightmare 4, and of course we are going to start the Power Surge here. Gonna have to drop my item power down, and away we go. Now, my example here, I'm actually looking for some upgrades for my EV2. So, with that in mind, I'm loading my hero deck with EVs. Now, depending on the character that you're trying to gear up, that's of course what you want to load your active hero deck with, as items are going to drop for anybody you have in your deck. Now I've got 3 other EVs, and I'm actually going to switch directly over to the EV right at the end as well, in hopes of getting a nice upgraded piece in that victory chest. So let's go ahead and get started. Now first off, the mechanics of the fight we all know. Your towers get a massive defense speed and defense power buff. However, they only last 35 seconds. Now this map can be really chaotic if you make it that way. However, if you plan out your tower placement, you know exactly what towers are going to go down and when. So what I like to do to start off is just putting 3 harpoons right here, 3 harpoons right here, and then I'm going to go ahead and start the match. Now I see I do have some bads coming out of that far right lane, so I'm going to go ahead and put 3 harpoons right down there as well. Now, just by the order I place these down, of course, this one's going to go first, then this one, and so on. So I can be sitting here waiting for that to disappear, or of course I can sell it if I'm concerned with the green mana. And I can replace those towers right on top, right after they despawn. So you get yourself in a nice little groove there, and the map becomes ridiculously easy. You know, obviously it's all about practice and finding your little pattern of what's going to work best. But I know with the pattern I take, as soon as I get those last 3 down below, I've got a little while where I can run around, gather up some green mana, do whatever I want, before I have to worry about those ballista up top despawning. Now, of course, like I said, with all this extra time, you can always sell them and re-put them back down, and then that's going to save the mana for you. However, there are just massive amounts of mana on the map itself, so I generally don't really bother with it. And then, of course, these 3 are going to go. Now, for the next wave, I'm going to go 2 rows of 3 down here, and the 2 rows of 3 up top, just like I was doing. Run around and gather up any green mana I can, and just go ahead and get that next match, or next wave started. And then, of course, I got a new chest right here to pop. And then there go my harps. So time to get them back down. Now, I will sell them occasionally just to get them out of the way. That way I can keep my rotation going smoothly. But do whatever you want to do, really. Now, at the end of this wave, we're going to get our first boss spawns. Actually, here they come now. Now, when these guys drop, when these guys despawn, these harpoons here, I'm going to start going rows of 4. Now, from here until the rest of the map, I'm going to do 2 rows of 4 up top and 2 rows of 4 on the bottom. And that's going to handle it. That's going to take care of the entire map for me without any problems. Now, of course, as you know, I'm doing it with 2 missing pieces to lower my item power down. But with a little practice, Pandinator actually proved it, you can do this map completely naked. I didn't go with 4 yet, did I? Or yeah, I put 4 up top. I didn't put 4 on the bottom, though. Start that off next wave, I guess. Now, of course, we got loot dropping, even without finishing it. There is an EV2 item power 661 helmet right there. So, if I was just making the transition from Nightmare 3 to Nightmare 4, there would be a nice upgrade right out of the gates right there. Gonna go ahead and pop this first and just continue on with the map here. We're going to get 4 of them down now. And then I'm also going to go 4 down here as well. A little less power, of course, since I'm have those pieces missing. I want to make sure I don't have any issues and that all the boss mobs and everything get burned down readily. But this map becomes, once you get this this little pattern down and you kind of get in your groove with it, this map goes from being extremely chaotic to being just ridiculously easy. And surprisingly, it's not actually that bad of a grind. I've definitely pulled my hair out a little bit grinding other maps. This one's actually not too bad to do. You know, there's not a bunch of building time, of course. You can knock the map out pretty quick. And those all lead to it being a good grinder. But without a doubt, this is where you should be starting if you're just now entering into Nightmare 4. As take advantage of it while it's here. You know, yeah, it's, I don't know if it's necessarily 100% as intended. But while it's available, make sure you gear up all your Nightmare 3 characters. Get them all squared away. That way when, this map changes or whatever happens to it, you'll already be past that point. And wave 3 just about ending here. And I'm just going to go ahead and start wave 4 right away as well. And then just wait for my harps to start despawning. Sell a couple of these guys just for giggles. I'm not sure the exact time that you have before that first one despawns, but I think it's at least like 15 to 20 seconds. So there's plenty of time to run around the map and collect up all the goodies that you need before you even worry about it. And of course, it is very intuitive on the mini-map. Your defenses instantly disappear off the mini-map when they leave. There's no lag or any sketchiness. Actually missed a ballista placement there, but I'm sure we'll live. The green mana is so abundant on this map, it's actually ideal if the towers disappear and you don't have to sell them. It makes it for a much more casual grind. There's another piece. There's a 684 EV medallion. Of course, my deck is loaded with EVs, and that's why I'm getting all this EV loot dropping. Yeah, there will be some Squire pieces in the mix, that's for sure. but getting it done pretty readily. Nice casual run. The first time I did this map, I was a madman slapping shit on the ground. Oh man. Times have changed, that's for damn sure. There's another fat legendary item. You do actually get a lot of drops on this map. You know, of course, out of the victory chest, you got the chance of that 750 item power boots. But just overall, the map is abundant with drops. I mean, there's just constant legendaries flying around. Start laying these down again, because I know I got a Slekelion somewhere. I don't remember where he was at, though. About the only thing that can really ruin you is Slekelion. Looks like we're in pretty good shape there. He's still a pretty good distance away from those harps. Doing good. Wave 5, of course, so it's almost over. So what I'm going to do is right at the end of the wave, of course, I want to actually have my EV out and active when the victory chest drops. It seems like that is going to, you know, not necessarily guarantee, but it's going to give me a pretty solid chance of having some EV loot in that box. Now, before I do make that switch, I'm going to wait until, of course, these 3 ogres are down. And before I do make the switch, I'm going to... You can see where, like, the last 30 or 40 mobs are coming out of, which lane. And, of course, you want to load your defenses up on that lane if you're switching over to a character that doesn't have defenses. Or doesn't have the DPS. And ogre down. That was a little close there, but... doesn't matter now. If your if your little lock there gets destroyed, then that door opens. This is the last wave, so doesn't matter at all. Now I see the last mobs are coming up top here, so as long as I have some harps in line right up top, I can go ahead and switch over to that other character now. So I'm gonna hop on out on my EV and just run around and wait for these last mobs to die here. Now, of course, there is the superstition on this map, where the item power 750 boots have a greater chance to drop if the map is clear of loot. Whether that's true or not, we don't really know, but it is a superstition that I follow as a superstitious person. So before I pop that victory chest, I'm going to run around, pick up a few items here off the ground, because there is a limit as to what can be on the ground, and that's where that superstition comes from. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the ground of debris, and then go ahead and pop this chest and hope for something good. Let's see what we get here. Of course, I'm going to get the monk weapon, which is going to be 700 item power plus. Ooh, and I got the boots too. Let's see what kind they are. There's that monk weapon, 738 glaive. And, oh yes, no defense crit on it, but a perfect 750 item power roll with defense power and defense crit. I could use some defense crit chance, but I am going to jump on these boots and be using them for sure. So that is going to do it for now. Thank you for watching. Click that like button and please subscribe. We'll see you soon with some more DD2.